Be your own best coach. Okay, now this one doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense to kids, but this is something that, again, every single great player has figured out, embraced, and used. And so the sooner I can get into young athletes' heads, the faster they can become amazing. So what are coaches good for? Coaches, why do you need them? Coaches are really good at helping athletes with accountability. So in other words, it's best if you work hard. It's best if you show up on time. Coaches are good at dropping the hammer and making sure those things happen. Coaches are also good for making sure that your effort remains at a high level. Whether it's how much physical effort you're putting out, maybe you're working out before or after practice, or effort when you're doing your drills and your competitions, or it might even be mental effort, like I tend towards. I like to make sure that kids are aware that mental effort is something that other kids are putting a lot of time and effort into. You should too. Coaches are also very good at giving you feedback. Hopefully, you have a coach that's a relative expert on getting feedback to you. In other words, we can do things a lot and we'll get better at them over time. But if you're given quality feedback, hey, not quite like that, try it like this, then you get better faster. So feedback is really important for a coach to give you. And not last, but last for our list, coaches are good at making sure you maintain your focus. They give you a direction, maybe with that feedback, to work. Like, hey, I need you to work on hitting down the line because you never do. I don't think it's one of the tools you command. And so in a game, if there's a really good block cross court and you're hitting, we're kind of hosed right now. So even though you don't want to, I want you to focus on working on hitting the line all practice today. We may not like it, but that coach may hold us accountable for putting good effort into using the feedback they gave us and focus on doing something we don't want to do. That's kind of a typical night if you have a good coach. All those things might happen to you and for you. But there's this problem. The 6-to-1 ratio. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a team of 12 players, that's a general volleyball team. Some have more, some have less, but usually they have 12. And you're lucky enough to have 2 coaches. That's 6 kids to every 1 coach. Now, most teams have a coach that's the best coach, the head coach. So really we could use 12-to-1 as a ratio, but since there's a lot of assistants out there, we're just going to say that it's 6-to-1. So in a regular best case scenario, your team has 6 players for every 1 coach. That means that you can have 1/6 of a coach's attention all the time, or you can have all of a coach's attention for 1/6 of a practice. Neither one of those is a great scenario in my book, and it's usually not this good. Coaches are distracted and human too, and if you ever notice that some of the best players get more of the coach's attention, so wouldn't it be great if you had a coach who cared about you the most and paid attention to you all the time? Not 1/6 of the time, we're talking all the time. Wouldn't that be great? Well, if you've ever had private lessons, this happens. You get one coach and you, and it's just a flood of information and feedback. It's heaven. But of course, private lessons cost money, or you need an incredibly charitable coach. So it's not a realistic scenario all the time for everybody. So what I'm offering to you is to have an amazing coach all the time, not 1/6, but every second of the day, that actually cares about you the most. And I'm talking about you being your own best coach. So how do you do that? You don't have all the experience and all the wisdom of the ages of these older people that are usually your coaches. I agree. But they can give you their wisdom in their 1/6 of the time they have for you if you're taking care of all the other times, if you're taking care of these things, if you're holding yourself accountable, if you're giving a high level of effort all the time, if you're asking for feedback when you need it, but getting feedback yourself when you don't. So in other words, in the last video, I talked about how, hey, if somebody beats you 3 times here, move over. You don't need somebody to tell you they've beaten you 3 times on the left. You just need to have it occur to you that that's a thing that people keep track of and then do something about. There are a million things you can do like this. Hey, I just missed my last serve. I should make sure the next 5 or 6 are in before I take a real risk. I mean, have you had a coach get a little annoyed, maybe even angry with you because you've missed too many serves in a practice? They were sensitive to that pattern of you missing too often, and you weren't. So they had to hold you accountable. They had to get you to focus with the feedback of, you're missing too often. Whoa, easy, coach. If you had noticed that yourself, you could have kept the coach off your back and left them available to do higher level things, that higher level feedback you can't do yourself in their 1/6 of the time that they have for you. But most people haven't recruited themselves as their own best coach. Okay? Look, here's the deal. You can be passive or active about your improvement. It's your life. You can live it any way you want. But most young athletes are not engaged in their own improvement. They need somebody to hold them accountable. They need somebody to say, you will give effort now, or rawr, and then they give effort. I have had a million teams in my past, and threatening them with running more always gets more effort out of them. I hate that. I hate that I did that to my coaches when I was a kid. But we all do it because it's our tendency as humans to take the path of least resistance. The truly amazing athletes are the people that recruit themselves. They're active about, on purpose, getting better faster than other people so they can beat them. They don't need a coach to do these things for them. They will accept all these things from a coach. They'll give high effort, and they have a coach that might even get a little more effort than they would have on their own. They will be accountable all by themselves. When they make a mistake, coach catches them, and that 1/6 of the time says, you know what? I need you to do this because you didn't. Or give feedback that they can't give themselves. You can't see yourself play and you don't know everything about the game. So it's good that we've got 1/6 of the time for that feedback to come. And focus is not a problem for these kids. The coaches give directional focus. The kids are already focused on getting better. They've decided to be active, not passive. Not, I don't know, whatever you tell me to do, coach, I guess I'll kind of do it. They're like, I need to do some things to get better. What would you like me to work on? What's my greatest weakness? Or what's a great strength I can make even better? They get focused about their active use of everything they've got to get better. You need to make a decision to be your own best coach. So you always have somebody that cares most about you, that's literally there for every rep, whether it's in your practice, whether you go play on the weekends with your buddies, whether you go get private training. There's always the same person, you, always the same person there getting the feedback, filing it away, using it, and focusing and getting everything out of yourself that you possibly can. And then you recruit other coaches for the things, the feedback that you can't do for yourself. The kids that improve the fastest, the kids that will get the best, are the ones that are actively making this happen. They are their own best coach. Most kids walk into a practice and they say, Coach, what do I do? And I want you to not be that kid. I want you to be the kid that's already got a journal and is like knowing when they walk in, here are the things I want to work on, Coach. Can I have some feedback on passing and serving tonight? Great. Here's what I care about. You know, and those coaches go, wow. This is great. And if you think they aren't helping those kids out, you are wrong. They are exciting to work with. You don't have to fight with them to improve. They're working with you. How do you do that? That's what my programs do. This is the information that you need to work better on your own. I had to include this. This wasn't supposed to be a part of the program that you got, but I mentioned it in the last video, and it would be idiotic for me not to mention that this is literally what I do. If you want to know how to be your own best coach, if you want to know what to think about, how to think about it, and how to help your own game get better, if you want to actively work instead of all the other passive dorks there are on your team, I hope you don't have them, but most people are. I'm really sorry if I insulted somebody you love. If you want to be active about getting better faster than other people so that you can beat them, this is what I do, and I want you to get involved. Get involved in being your own best coach with some of the information that I'm happy to give to you, and go out there and win a whole lot more than you are now.